Hi, this is Study with Mo. So today we will be doing Maths B May-June 2025, Paper 1, question number 20. A solid right cylinder is made of wood. The mass of the cylinder is 2140 gram to the nearest 10 gram. The radius of the cylinder is 8.5 centimeter to the nearest 0.5 centimeter. The density of the wood is 0.7 gram per centimeter cube to the nearest 0.1 gram per centimeter cube. Given that density is equals to mass by volume and taking the value of pi as 3.142, calculate the lower bound in centimeter to 1 decimal place of the height of the cylinder. Show all your working. Okay, so we have the rounded measurement. These are my rounded measurement. Let me take a different color. And these are my rounding units. Okay, so the formula is something like this. You write the rounding measurement plus or minus, and you have your let me take a different color. Half, that should be multiplied with rounding units, RU. Okay, so this is our formula. You have your rounding measurement plus minus according to the lower bound and upper bound. If you have upper bound, you will use the plus sign. If you have lower bound, you will use the minus sign, and you multiply the rounding units with half and you get your result. Okay, this is how you find your upper bound and lower bound. Okay, let's take for mass. We have 2140 gram, the upper bound and the lower bound. We write 2140 plus open bracket half multiply 10 gram, as our rounding units is 10 gram. Okay, so this is the lower bound. Okay, so this is the lower bound, and we have 2135, and then we have the upper bound 2140 plus open bracket 1 by 2 multiply 10 is equals to 2145. So we are done with the lower bound and upper bound of the mass. And then we have the radius 8.5, the upper bound and lower bound, which is 8.5 minus 1 by 2 multiply 0.5, okay, which is 8.25. And for the upper bound, 8.5 plus 1 by 2 multiply 0.5, which is 8.75. So this is our radius. This is our radius, this is our mass. This is our mass, and then we have our density. Okay, so for density, we write our rounding measurement 0.7. So lower bound and upper bound. Okay, 0.7 minus 1 by 2 multiply, we have 0.1, and the answer is 0.65. Similarly, 0.7 plus open bracket 1 by 2 multiply 0.1 is equals to 0.75. So we have all the lower bound and all the upper bound for our rounding measurement. Now they asked, given that the density is equals to mass by volume, let me write it something. So volume of the density when we have a radius by r square multiply h. So let me write it. Density is equals to mass divided by pi r square multiply h. So we have the density. We know our density is, we take the upper bound for it. Let me choose a blue or purple color. We take the upper bound, we take the upper bound, and here we take the lower bound. Since they asked for the height should be in lower bound. So we already have 2 sets of upper bound and 2 sets of lower bound. Okay, so now our density is 2135 equals to, we have our mass, our mass is 2135, our density is 0.75 by 3.142, we will write it later, and our radius is 8.75 square, and we have h. Now let's take h in this side, is equals to 2135 multiplied by, let's not write pi, let's write 3.142 since they have given, so we should choose this amount, and then 8.75 square multiply density comes here 0.75, so the answer is 11.83 for h. So now the answer 11.83 centimeter. So this is our height. We are done with number 20.